Hi, I'm Dr. Bruce Chalmer. So, if you're one of a male-female couple, you know this one. You're home and you feel the call and head for the bathroom. And there's the toilet seat left up after its last use by the man of the house. Now, if you're the man, this is a non-issue. If you're doing number one, you're all set. And if you're doing number two, you just put down the seat and have at it. But if you're the woman, you know the feeling. How could he be so clueless? How many times do I have to ask, nag, explain, or yell to get him to show a little consideration? Is he deliberately trying to defy me just to prove some macho point, or is he just plain stupid? I already have kids and I don't need him to be another one. Why do I want to be with him anyway? And if you're the man, you hear about it again. And you wonder, what is it about the toilet seat? Why is she always on my case about something so trivial? And why can't she appreciate everything else I do for her? She used to be so nice to me. Why has she turned into this? Now, I realize it's not always about the toilet seat, but the toilet seat squabble is quintessential. In fact, it's a great opportunity for a couple to learn about each other, because it turns out you can learn a lot from the toilet seat problem. And even better, this is one problem that has a solution, and it all starts with one simple principle. The simple principle: assume goodwill. In other words, assume that he or she isn't really out to get you, and isn't crazy either. Assume that the person you're with is still that kind, loving soul you fell in love with. Now, assuming goodwill doesn't mean it's always true. It means starting with that assumption. If you believe it's really not true, if you believe he or she really is out to make you miserable or control you or intimidate you, then you'll have to figure out what to do, and it'll probably mean splitting up. But if you don't think they're doing it on purpose, start with the assumption of goodwill. Because when you assume that your partner means well, then when they do something that hurts you, you'll realize something profound. You'll realize there's something you don't know, and you'll want to ask about it. If she's yelling at me, and I know she's a person of goodwill who loves me and isn't crazy, there must be something I don't know about that's causing her pain. If he's doing something clueless and inconsiderate, and I know he's a person of goodwill who loves me, there must be something I don't know that's causing him to miss what I need him to see. And your reaction will be totally different. Instead of yelling or defending yourself or counterattacking, you'll want to find out. So, what's not to know about leaving the toilet seat up? If you're a man, I bet you didn't realize that a lot of women don't like to touch the toilet seat at all. A lot of women will actually wash their hands after having to touch the toilet seat before they sit on it to do their business. So as soon as she's facing that seat that she knows you left up, you've already forced her to do something she finds disgusting. That's not why she's with you. In fact, a big part of why she's with you is that you protect her from things like that. Another way to look at it: if she were living by herself, she wouldn't have to touch the seat except to clean it. Now that she's living with you, if you don't put the seat down, she has to touch it a lot of the time. And every time she does, she's confronted with a tiny little reason why her life is worse since she moved in with you. If you're a woman, I bet you didn't realize that men often view this as a fairness issue. After all, if I'm a man, why should I always have to be the one to move the seat? The guy figures, if you've left it down, I don't complain when I have to put it up, so why are you so uptight about having to put it down? Notice that he has no idea that you're disgusted by it, because touching the seat doesn't particularly bother him. He's had to do it since he was toilet trained, and it makes little difference whether he's living with a woman or not. So all he sees is that you're being unfair and unkind. That's not why he's with you. In fact, a big part of why he's with you is that you're nice to him. Now, you could insist that your partner be more like you. If you're a woman, you could insist that your man be equally disgusted by the things that disgust you. If you're a man, you could insist that your woman not be disgusted by the things that don't disgust you. Good luck with that. It turns out that men and women are different in a lot of ways. Who knew? You know that wonderful person you were attracted to? Well, it's those differences that attracted you. Maybe you like that he's willing to kill the bugs, remember? Maybe you like that she notices how things look and smell and feel, remember? So if you're willing to accept that you're not going to turn into the same person, you'll take a very different approach. Assume goodwill, and you'll be able to ask each other what's going on so you can help each other feel better rather than battling for control. Of course, I realize that not all problems are this simple. Of course, I realize not all women find the toilet seat disgusting and that some men do. I also realize that men's and women's experiences aren't always parallel. In particular, men need to learn more about women's experience of disrespect because men are often aware of how often and in how many ways women are subject to disrespect. But whatever the differences may be between you, assuming goodwill leads you to ask rather than fight, and that makes problems more manageable. Oh, and what about the solution I promised? This one is simple. Women, when he forgets, forgive him. It's just that he experiences it differently. And men, for crying out loud, put the seat down. You're protecting her from feeling bad. That feels good to both of you. I'm Dr. Bruce Chalmer. If you have ideas for topics you'd like me to cover, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you.